It's 2:47 in the morning, you cannot sleep, and you've read the same message 18 times. You've already drafted 3 replies but deleted all of them. And somewhere in the back of your mind, the same thought keeps coming back. Why am I always like this? Why can't I stop overthinking? Well, it turns out that you weren't born like this. This is for sure. In the very beginning of your first years, somewhere, somehow, when you couldn't even understand what was going around you, your survival instinct took over. Your brain tried to understand everything and gave you the feeling that overthinking kept you safe. And it kept doing it long after you needed it to. Psychology found 4 types of overthinkers, so let us in the next few minutes unravel what type of overthinker you are. We'll look at where each one came from in your childhood, and then, after you know which type or types are yours, I'll show you the one thing that actually works for each of them, so you can fix it. Don't skip ahead. The solutions only make sense once you know which one is calling your name, and most people are more than one. Crucial truth: overthinking isn't one thing, it's 2. The first is rumination. Your brain pulls you backward to something that already happened, a conversation, a mistake, a moment you can't take back. The second is worry. Your brain pulls you forward to something that hasn't happened yet, a scenario, a fear, a future you're trying to control. Most generic advice, just stop overthinking, treats both the same. That's why it fails. The trick that calms a worrier makes a ruminator spiral harder. The strategy that breaks rumination doesn't even touch worry. Inside those 2 sections, there are 4 specific types. Each one started rooted in your childhood. Let's find yours. Type 1, the replayer. Ever feel like you're stuck in a rerun, cringing at something? Maybe while you are brushing your teeth, hits you suddenly that thing you said in 2019, the awkward joke, the voice that came out wrong, the face someone made when you said it. You feel the shame in your chest, fresh, like it just happened. Even though it was years ago, even though no one else remembers. Replayers don't think about the future. They live in evidence, collecting it, examining it, holding it up to the light to see what it really meant. And here's where it started. Somewhere when you were small, you learned that something you did or said had bigger consequences than it should have. Maybe you spoke at the wrong moment and someone got angry. Maybe you forgot something and it became proof of who you were. Maybe a parent went quiet and you couldn't tell why, so you replayed the day looking for what you did wrong. Your brain learned, if I review every detail, I can prevent the next disaster. That little child became an expert at evidence gathering. They had to. And that little child is still inside you, still gathering, still reviewing, even though you're safe now. Quick check. When you replay something embarrassing from years ago, do you feel the emotion in your body like it's happening now? If yes, replayer might be one of yours. Remember that. Type 2, the forecaster. Do you know the forecaster overthinker? He is not living in the past, but he worries about the future. His brain monopolized the meeting next week, and the conversation he haven't had yet, and the flight in 3 months worries him too. His brain runs simulations. Every possible thing that could go wrong played out in detail. By the time the actual moment arrives, he has already lived it 20 times, exhausted before it even starts. Forecasters don't trust the future to take care of itself. They prepare, they rehearse, they mentally walk through every catastrophic version of every possibility, believing that if they imagine it first, they can survive it. And here's where it started. Somewhere when the forecaster was a kid, the world wasn't predictable. Maybe a parent's mood changed without warning. Maybe money was tight, and there were sudden no's where there used to be yeses. Maybe someone he loved left or got sick, and no one prepared him. His trauma was too big, so his brain took over. If I never let myself be surprised again, if I see every disaster coming, nothing can hurt me. That little child became his own storm watcher. He had to, and he never figured out how to turn the radar off. Quick check. Do you simulate conversations before they happen, even small ones? If yes, forecaster might be one of yours. Hold on to that. Type 3, the decoder. Are you someone that analyzes everyone and everything? Maybe someone replied with one word instead of a sentence. Is he angry? Did your last message come across wrong? Should you double text? You analyze tone, timing, punctuation, the gap between when they read it and replied. You build entire emotional theories from a single emoji. Decoders aren't dramatic. They aren't paranoid. They are people whose nervous systems learned very early that other people's moods were not just emotions. They were like the weather, unpredictable, survivable on good days, dangerous on bad ones. At the most times, the decoder had a parent who was warm one day and cold the next. He may have lived in a household where the wrong tone of voice meant the rest of the night was ruined. Depression, anxiety, violence, alcoholism were in his life, so he had to become an expert at reading microsignals. The smallest shift in someone's face, voice, posture, he caught it before they even knew they were showing it. That skill kept him safe. It kept everyone in the house calmer. It might have been the most important thing he did as a kid. And now, as an adult, that radar never turned off. Every text, every glance, every silence. He is still scanning for the storm. Quick check. When someone close to you is quiet, do you immediately try to figure out what you did? Or what he might have? If yes, decoder might be one of yours. Type 4, the self-critic. This type of overthinker has a voice in his mind, and the voice is mean. It doesn't replay events, it doesn't run scenarios, it doesn't decode others. It evaluates you, constantly. You should have known better. Why are you like this? Everyone else can do this. What's wrong with you? Don't embarrass yourself. Don't be too much. Don't be too little. It feels like motivation. It isn't. Research is clear. Self-criticism doesn't improve performance. It is just self-protection turned into self-sabotage. It started when you were a kid and someone criticized you in a way that stuck. Maybe a parent who pointed out every mistake. Maybe a teacher whose words you can still hear word for word. Maybe an older sibling whose mockery cut deeper than they ever knew. Maybe nobody yelled. Maybe it was just a sigh, a look, a "why can't you be more like?" Your brain made a small, brilliant calculation. If I criticize myself first, harder than they ever could, I'll never be caught off guard. I'll fix the problems before anyone else sees them. I'll be safe. I'll be loved. That little child became their own first critic. He thought it was protecting him, and the voice you still hear in your head telling you you're not enough, that voice is almost never your own. It's a recording from someone else. Quick check. When you make a mistake, does the voice in your head sound like someone you actually know? If yes, self-critic might be one of yours. And please try to remember whose voice it is. We'll come back to that. Now give yourself a second. It was hard remembering the past. Pause if you need to. How many of those types felt like you? 1, 2, 3? Maybe all 4. Most of us are a primary type with a secondary one underneath. Maybe you're a replayer who turns into a self-critic. Every replay ends in a verdict against yourself. Maybe you're a forecaster who decodes other people's nudes on the side. Maybe you're a decoder who has a self-critic running quietly under everything. There's no clean box, but there's a primary. And usually there's a child somewhere in your past who started doing this for a reason that made sense at the time. That child was right to do it. They were survival tools. But now they are draining you. So let us uncover the tailored solutions for each wound. If you are a replayer, you might not think your way out of a replay because the loop is in your nervous system, not your mind. The way out is through your body. Cold water on your face, bare feet pressed into the floor, a walk outside fast enough to feel your breath change. Movement and temperature interrupt the replay in a way that thinking never can. The next time the rerun starts at 2 a.m., get out of bed, splash your face, press your feet down. Tell your body, we're in now, not then. Try it once and you'll feel the difference. If you are a forecaster, then know that you'll never stop the simulations by trying to stop them. But you can move them. Pick 15 minutes a day, same time, same place. That's your worry window. Outside that window, when a simulation starts, you say to your brain, "Not now, 6 p.m." Sounds too simple, but it works because forecaster brains are not unreasonable. They just need a promise that the worry will get its turn. Inside the window, let it run. Catastrophize freely. Most days, you'll find you don't even need the full 15 minutes. If you are a decoder, then trust words over instincts. Take what people say at face value until they tell you otherwise. If someone says they're fine, they're fine. If they say they're upset, they're upset. Your brain will resist this. It will feel lazy, even dangerous. It isn't. You spent years reading invisible signals because no one in your childhood told you the truth out loud. The adults around you now usually will. Trust their words before you trust your radar. It's not naive. It's the most respectful thing you can do, for them and for you. If you are a self-critic overthinker, then you have to learn to be nicer to yourself. Don't argue with the voice. That doesn't work because the voice doesn't believe nice. Instead, ask one question. Whose voice is this? Almost always you'll know. A parent, a teacher, a coach, a version of yourself from when you were 10 and someone told you were too much. Once you can name whose voice it is, it stops being the truth and becomes a recording. Recordings can be turned down. Truths can't. The next time the voice starts, pause and say quietly, "That's not me, that's them." That sentence, repeated for weeks, slowly gives you back the volume knob. Did you find out which type of overthinkers you are? Or are you more than one? Maybe all of them? Then you need to use each solution by each situation. Comment your type below. Just one word: replayer, forecaster, decoder, critic, or all four. Not for the algorithm, just for you. The act of writing it tells your brain, "I see you now. You're not random. You're a pattern that started a long time ago for a reason that made sense." But patterns can change. Now it's the time to thank your inner child for his methods that helped you survive and let it rest. As an adult, you can make the difference.